If people decide they ever want government to play a heroic role in the United States, one of the things that they're going to have to tend to is how it sets a standard of living up to high ideals. And legislate a more ethical entertainment operation by government oversight. We can't let people who are afraid of transparency plead freedom when their goal is crime and abuse. The issue of living up to our ideals is built into the philosophy of government. Culture makes up a lot of different people and has to be negotiated. People have to talk and reason out at town halls and um, clubs and gatherings and discussions, schools, and the workplace to determine what they consider right and wrong, and then do their best to live up to their standards and institutionalize them in government. When we have what they call an adversarial system in the legal society with high stakes rulers, you have a win lose situation where people lose grip of ethics. Why it's happening and how it's happening should be carefully represented in editorial and commentary magazines, newspaper articles, and letters to the editor. It's a principal question of whether or not we've established a legal system that itself knows the difference between right and wrong. When it comes to Hollywood, people practicing the adversarial system who believe only in winning, part of our culture which can lead to rewards and satisfaction about rewards of crime, all forms of crime, knowingly, in a premeditated and sly way. We have a situation where people who have talent in misrepresenting reality, and you're thinking lawyers. I'm thinking lawyers too, but I'm thinking of someone possibly more important, filmmakers. Filmmakers and lawyers create a plastic reality of misinformation. And they've begun taunting us from the film theaters with their fascist sensibilities. It comes through the highways of our internet, it comes through domestic terror operation. Program notes slyly conceived to make us afraid of invisible powers from a cult born in all reality from the Twilight Zone and the minions of Rod Serling operating behind the scenes in the Cold War and in the 50s. This kind of situation is as sad as it is scary. We're asked to choose sides sometimes. Well, there's an easy one. Do you choose sides between the people who shoot up schools or the victims? That's an easy one for most people. They don't see that when they side with Hollywood, they're siding with the people who shoot up schools. They don't see that when they side with lawyers and casinos, they're siding with the people who shoot up schools. Not necessarily in terms of pure foundational ethics, of course, but in ways that need to be more carefully considered in terms of our ideals by media editorialists, by statesmen, by letters to the editor, by discourse clubs, by schools. It's foolish not to evaluate what these people in Hollywood have done and are doing. Foolish to believe that the rewards that can be obtained by laws are somehow a service to the betterment of our culture. Culture and the people in it cannot always be expected to see eye to eye, nor can they be expected to live up to their ideals all the time. But when we have a secondary framework that brings terror down on our people, we have to change. We have to address what is happening. And instead of allowing this to happen, Hollywood is turning up the heat, intensifying. They're making it harder and worse. Hollywood needs oversight, and in some cases, criminal prosecution. But least of all, do we dare ignore the legacy of tyranny, crime, and hatred that they have made their personality.